Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning. Good morning.
Can I please get a show of hands for those of you who would prefer 83-degree weather in the woods, in the mountains, versus 103-degree weather here in Phoenix? Show of hands. Thank you. So much participation this morning. Well, I would also prefer that, which is why I had the opportunity to spearhead and put together a soccer team this past Labor Day weekend up in Payson, Arizona. I knew it was going to be really hot here, and the soccer tournament's name was called Beat the Heat, which is fitting because it was much cooler there. So Benjamin Franklin once said, for those of you failing to prepare, you are planning to fail. And the three biggest lessons I took away from planning this trip and this event was, number one, expect the unexpected, number two, budget, and number three, have fun. So, expecting the unexpected. I learned a lot from this trip, but when you're trying to put together an Airbnb for your entire soccer team of 16 people, get all the jerseys out there, recruit enough good players so you actually can build a good team and win the tournament and have fun while doing it, there's a lot of bumps and hurdles that you come across. So the biggest hurdle that I came across was the heat. You think that 85 is going to be good weather up there, but actually, while I was playing soccer on the field and I was running around, I literally, the first game, second half, this was me. Like, you would expect me to be like kicking it and scoring goals, and I was like this on the field. I was like on my hands and knees, just I couldn't breathe. I was so tired and so hot. I ran out of water, and I didn't expect me to drink not enough water. I should have drinking a lot more water before the tournament and day of. So that was something I didn't expect, was being more dehydrated than ever. And then another thing I didn't expect was we had 16 players, and 12 of them stayed at the Airbnb. So we could field a team of 11, but 4 of them had to drive up the day of on Saturday morning. And there was an accident. There was a really tragic accident on the 87, so a lot of them couldn't make it, and most importantly, our guy with the jerseys couldn't make it. So we were on the field, we had nothing, but thankfully I kind of expected that, and I told everybody just in case to bring a set of white t-shirts. So we ended up there. Kenny, our center mid, didn't make it. I called Kenny, I was like, hey, it's 10 minutes for the game time, Kenny, where are you at? And he literally calls me back and he said, CJ, it's a dead stop. And when I was talking to him, I could hear him. He had gotten out of his car, and he was hiking up a hill just so he could get service to talk to me. He was like, hang on, CJ, 1 second. And I was like, where is this guy? What is he doing? But he was at a dead stop, and he couldn't make it. And he said he was going to miss the first game, so we had no jerseys. But thankfully, I had those white shirts, so we wore white that first day. Didn't have to forfeit because no jerseys. All right, budgeting. Budgeting is a key aspect when planning an event and making sure that it's successful. I used an Excel sheet because there were so many people. I had to account for how much the tournament cost, how much dues were for each person. And show of hands again, have you ever planned like a bachelor party, or ever attended an event like that before? Yeah, so it's like one word, chaos, when you do something like that. And that was what it was like for me to create an Airbnb with guys and girls of 12 people. So I had an Excel sheet, and I budgeted a little bit before it, but one thing I wish I would have done was budgeted days, weeks beforehand, collected money ahead of time, and used that money to front the Airbnb. Instead, I held a lot of trust into people that I didn't know, friends of friends, and we had a lot of last-minute cancellations. We had people that didn't pay on time, so I was scrambling to get dues from everybody. And the Airbnb, the venue that we chose, was fine. I mean, I paid for everything up front, and it ended up being okay, but it stressed me out so much before the event that if there's one thing I would recommend would be to budget everything ahead of time and even ask for help when it comes to budgeting and collecting dues. And lastly, but not least, have fun. When you're planning an event and you're executing it, you can get really stressed out about things popping up out of nowhere, or the budget and where you're going to collect all of this money. But at the end of the day, for me, it doesn't matter where you go. Most importantly, it's with who you're with. And I happened to bring a lot of my best friends on this trip, people that I've known for a decade. And then I allowed my friends to bring their friends because we wanted to have a good soccer team. So there was new people there. And we had such a good time. I mean, I think there's like 4 bars in Pace in total. Saturday night before the championship game, of course, we went to 4 bars. And it was like the most fun I've ever had in months. And I'm so happy that my friend told me just to relax and have fun because I let go of everything else. And I decided, you know what? It's more important for me to spend time with these people and just connect than it is to stay sober and win the championship game, which therefore the next day we played really hard. I was a little sick. We might have lost the championship game 1-0, but I think we won overall with how much fun we had. So there's an African proverb that states, "For tomorrow belongs to people who prepare for it today." And if there's anything that you can learn from my last weekend is to expect the unexpected, budget, and have fun. Whether you are planning a soccer tournament event with your friends, whether you're planning a bachelorette party, or whether you're perhaps planning an open house night for Toastmasters, hopefully you take these lessons with you and you encourage other people to help out, or you lend a helping hand. And Toastmasters, my challenge for you is, what are things that you could take and bring to the table when it comes to planning events? And specifically, there might be an open house Toastmasters event coming up for our club, and what could you do to help make that event successful? Madam Toastmaster.